Every day is a great day to be a recipient of the simple things. I love when the birds on my alarm clock. I don't think there is ever a way you could be mad at that. Praise the Most High. What's up, good people? Thank you for clicking play on another episode of Big Man, Tiny Kingdom. If you checked out the last episode, then you heard me mention that I moved into my RV. How that came about was I was driving around my neighborhood wanting to see what some of the local RV parks look like. I stopped at one of them to speak with the property manager, inquiring about what they have for sale. At that time, they didn't have anything, but she put me on their call list, gave me a tour and some information about the lot fees and what it would take to move in. Fast forward some months, the owner of the apartment I was living in gave notice that the rent would be increasing from $880 a month to $1,100. He also mentioned that his pricing was below market share value and kind of gave the impression that increases would continue, that he could get $1,569 a month for the unit. Now, as a private owner, that's his right to charge what he wants for his property, but the amount was not good for me. Seems like everything we pay for has inflated tremendously over the last 4 years. The unfair part of these rent increases is that us people are expected to pay more for the same stuff. Nothing has improved about the products and services, and it's really a messed up situation to be in because it feels like there is no choice but to do it. Where I live was not the nicest neighborhood to live in. It wasn't horrible either, but there wasn't anything so great about it that if I didn't like the rent increases, I could just move to another quality area with lower prices. It was rather if I decided to move to an area with cheaper rents, then I would be moving to less quality and more than likely into a neighborhood with more crime. So when the property owner brings about the rent increase, I have no idea where I'm moving to, but I'm 100% sure that I am moving because even though the amount he's asking is still in the budget, it feels like bad math to buy into paying more for the same apartment. The rent wasn't being increased because upgrades were getting done to the unit. It was just being increased because everything else in the economy was going up in price. So as a consumer, I should just accept it and pay my bills. Well, I wasn't buying into that. I put in my notice to vacate and I started looking for park models and RVs to buy. I didn't get approved for the loan, wasn't making enough income at that time. I had some anxiety going on because time was of the essence at this point. Just as I was starting to lose hope on finding a place, I get a call from the park that put me on the waiting list, letting me know that they didn't have anything for sale at the moment, but would I be interested in an RV rental? So I moved into it. A 2012 Forest River 40-foot travel trailer. It was an older unit, and so it came with its fair share of issues, but it served its purpose. It forced me to downsize my belongings even more than before. I've known for a very long time that less is more. Being in a space that is maybe 200 square feet will definitely fuel a minimalist mindset. I've learned so much about the weather. Whatever the conditions are, it will be multiplied inside the rig. So if it's 50 degrees outside, then it's 40 something inside. And it's the extreme opposite when it comes to the high heat. The RV AC units only seem to cool the space about 15 or 20 degrees. So there's really not much you can do when it's over 100, because if it's 115 here in Arizona, then I'm struggling in the 90s inside the RV. And because of the hot weather, I've discovered that all I'm doing when I decide to cook inside this small aluminum can that has poor ventilation and insulation is creating more heat. That takes a long time to clear out, and it would be worth it to me to cook outside whenever I could, which is exactly what I do. Other than when it's pouring down rain, I cook outside. I've also learned to understand the power draw that a 30 amp rig is able to handle. Whether I like it or not, I can't run the air conditioner and the microwave with other appliances and electronics at the same time. A couple episodes back, I mentioned that the outside power cord caught on fire, and that was a result of it running a high current, overheating to the point where it got too hot. Thankfully, I was awake and able to catch it quickly, and the damage was minimal. No loss of life or property. I've learned that preventative maintenance is absolutely a must, and I've learned the hard way that you don't want to procrastinate with the RV upkeep, especially with the holding tanks, because you will be rewarded with some stuff you won't enjoy smelling if you don't do right by those things. I now know that I hate ants more than any other pest, and a close second would be stray cats. For whatever reason, they both seem to be a part of the natural habitat in an RV park. I've learned a lot about RVs and mobile home parks. I've learned a lot about myself, and the rental experience has been a blessing in disguise. I was granted an opportunity that is not often afforded to people. I got to test out the RV lifestyle on a long-term basis before I made my purchase. Most times, we only get to rent an RV for a vacation trip, and I'm thankful that I got to live in a rental, because now that I am full-time RVing in my own rig, a much smaller RV, I should add, I went from 40 feet to 20, but I am going into this situation with my eyes wide open, having had 2 years of practice. And now I feel fully prepared. And the blessing part is that this is the lifestyle I've been dreaming about for so very long. I've wanted this going back to 2015. Now it's a reality. And I'm getting to do what I do best. I'm living life real big. Hope y'all out there doing the same. Until next time, good people, this is Big Man, Tiny Kingdom.